At her sister's wedding, the younger sister, who came to offer congratulations, places a poisoned crown upon the bride's head. The crown contains a nearly invisible thorn coated with deadly poison. Even the gods themselves could not save her from this fate. Yet the big sister does not die. Instead, she reverses time, returning to before the wedding ceremony began. She stares expressionlessly at herself in the mirror, the spot where the thorn pierced her head still throbbing with pain. At that wedding, after being poisoned, she had curled up weakly. Her younger sister excitedly revealed the truth before her death. "You really are a fool. All these years I've trained you to be an obedient puppet. But only when you're completely dead can my brother-in-law and I claim the family fortune." The groom smugly announced that he would henceforth be the head of the Soul family. Everyone raised their glasses to celebrate the new patriarch, while no one cared whether the bride lived or died. The big sister closed her eyes in despair. She unleashed all her magic, intending to die together with her sister, but the magic caused time to flow backward instead. Wystia had actually returned to before the wedding began. At this moment, the maids around her mock her freely. "This fool won't try to escape, will she? Should we tie her up?" No, the second miss would be heartbroken. Wystia maintains a cold expression without speaking. Her current predicament in this household is entirely her own fault. She had trusted the brainwashing of her adopted sister, who shares no blood relation with her. After their parents died, she handed over the family's power to her younger sister. Her younger sister daily drugged the tea she drank, making her confused and muddled. Everyone believed she was a fool. Finally, under her sister's arrangement, she married a man who could help the family. Now it appears this man had long conspired with her younger sister to eliminate her, then legitimately seize all the family assets. At this moment, the groom approaches Wystia with a smile. He enthusiastically embraces Wystia. Wystia doesn't want to alert the enemy. She lies expressionlessly in the man's arms, contemplating which trustworthy people might help her escape this predicament. She realizes with despair that no one can help her. Here, everyone only follows the orders of her younger sister Linna. Now Wystia possesses only her magic. In this world, few people awaken magical abilities. As a child, Wystia awakened her magic. However, her parents worried that their young daughter might harm herself by using this power carelessly, so they made her promise not to use magic casually. After their parents died, her sister further brainwashed her about magic's many dangers, causing her to completely abandon her magical abilities. Now Wystia decides to reclaim her natural talent. She attempts to cast magic on the vase atop her vanity table. Towering flames instantly engulf the vase. Within moments, the flowers turn to ash. Soon the time arrives for the wedding procession. Wystia immediately notices her younger sister standing in the corner. She watches the couple with a face full of smiles. Wystia calmly proceeds with the ceremony alongside the groom. Soon her younger sister Linna approaches with the crown. Having reversed time, Wystia knows the crown contains a thorn coated with deadly poison. Simply wearing it would cost her life. Yet she still cooperates by lowering her head, but just as the crown is about to touch her head, she suddenly grabs Linna's arm forcefully. Linna asks in shock and panic, "Big sister, what's wrong?" Wystia seizes the crown and pushes Linna away. Linna's heart skips a beat. She struggles to maintain composure, asking in confusion what's wrong with her sister. Wystia indeed finds the poisoned needle in the crown. She hurls the crown away. Since Linna tells everyone that her big sister is a fool who understands nothing, she will maintain this fool's persona to the end, then slowly return everything to Linna. Wystia releases a series of strange, gleeful laughs. Then she announces to everyone, "I don't want to get married." After speaking, she turns to bid farewell to everyone. The wedding scene immediately descends into chaos. Linna immediately orders people to bring her big sister back, but Wystia lifts her dress and disappears in a flash using her magical power. She quickly arrives at Grand Duke's manor, where someone can help her. The guards at the entrance block Wenstia's path. Time being crucial, Wystia raises her hand and uses magic to repel the guards. She finally reaches Duke Regip's room. Regip shows no surprise at Wenstia's arrival, merely saying with a half smile, "As a guest, you're rather impolite, aren't you?" Wystia first lifts her dress to apologize to him, then cuts straight to the point, stating her purpose, "I need your help." Regip expresses some surprise. According to rumors, Wystia is a fool, but it seems the rumors are not factual. However, he remains unwilling to help. Although in previous generations, his family and Wenstia's family were hereditary allies, and the two families had made an agreement that when one family head faced crisis, they could seek help from the other family head. The agreement had a condition: the family head seeking help must prove themselves to be a legitimate mage. Wystia wastes no words and directly uses magic. Vines instantly fill the room, and vibrant flowers bloom upon the vines. Regip is shocked. He had never heard that Wystia had awakened magical abilities. His ignorance is understandable. Under her sister Linna's brainwashing, Wystia had hidden her magical abilities. If she hadn't discovered her younger sister's true nature, she would have concealed her magic until death. Regip finally agrees to Wenstia's request for help. "So, how should I help you?" At the chaotic wedding scene, Regip bursts in with his knights. Linna's originally unhappy expression. But the moment she saw Regip, she immediately changed to a well-behaved look. However, Regip ignores Linna's greeting and coldly questions her. "I hear you plan to have my lover marry someone else?" This explosive news causes everyone present to erupt in excitement. Upon seeing the Duke, Sister Linna immediately assumes a pitiful appearance. "Duke, could you take your knights outside? Otherwise I'm very frightened." If she can just cajole the Duke away, her sister Wensty's wedding will still be under her control. Once the deed is done, even a Duke cannot interfere. The Duke naturally cannot simply leave. He lovingly embraces Wystia and coldly addresses Linna. "My lover is marrying a stranger in a place I know nothing about. How could I possibly stand by and watch?" Seeing the Duke won't respond to gentle persuasion, Linna's voice turns cold as she subtly warns the Duke that this is sole family territory and he as an outsider should not overstep his bounds. The Duke nods in agreement. "Very well, I'll leave. But Wystia is my lover, and she must come with me." Wystia feels extremely grateful that the Duke is her ally. An hour earlier, she had specifically sought out the Duke, requesting he form an alliance with her and play the role of her lover until she reclaimed all of the family's power. Wystia promised the Duke that once she successfully seized power, she would fulfill any request he made. The Duke agreed with great interest. After their contract, they finally managed to postpone that chaotic wedding. Afterward, Wystia is taken back to the Duke's manor. When deep night falls, she uses magic to quietly slip away. To defeat Linna, she must gather more information. Previously, she had lived like a fool in a cage, understanding nothing about the Empire's various changes. Wystia arrives at a tavern and directly orders rum, gin, and steak from the server. The server freezes momentarily before hurrying to prepare her order. Someone had once told Wystia that taverns house information guilds. Only by making specific gestures can one gain access to the guild. If one hopes to obtain lower-level intelligence, one need only order alcohol. Ultimate intelligence requires ordering a blue margarita. To obtain the core intelligence, some seemingly absurd methods must be used, and the information can only be obtained by meeting the president. The server quickly brings Wensty's ordered food and drinks. Wystia directly pours out the alcohol, stating that it tastes terrible. Upon hearing this, all the servers freeze. Wystia directly smashes the glass and takes out money, asking the server to take her to see the proprietor. Rather than becoming angry, the server respectfully leads Wystia forward. But upon entering the room, a red-haired, red-eyed maniac presses a short sword against Wensty's throat. "Welcome to my castle. If you want information, trade your life for it." Wystia remains completely calm, instead raising her head to ask, "Are you certain you're confident you can kill me? Besides, killing me now would be rather pointless, wouldn't it?" The maniac guild leader immediately becomes interested. This woman is completely different from what the rumors describe. He states that his information is not cheap. Wystia frankly admits she has no money, but she can pay other prices. "When I become head of the Sol family, I will be your biggest future client." The guild leader's interest grows even more intense. Wystia tells him with firm determination, "I stake my honor and swear that I will restore the Sol family's strength and reclaim sovereignty. You will witness the beginning alongside me." The guild leader finally agrees to help Wystia. Soon she obtains the intelligence she wanted, all concerning news related to the Empire and the Sol family's surroundings. Sister Linna has squandered much of the family fortune, causing the Sol family's gradual decline. Before Wystia finishes reading, the guild leader drops another bombshell. "Your sister has already commissioned several assassination contracts against you." Wensty's heart turns cold. Although Linna is only her cousin, she trusted this cousin like a real sister. Otherwise, she would never have handed over complete family control to her. However, her trust became a blade that wounded her. The guild leader tells Wystia that Linna hired the Blood War Hounds, an inferior organization notorious for assassination. The guild leader worries that before he receives payment, Wystia will be dead. Unexpectedly, Wystia says casually, "I'll just strike first." The guild leader freezes, then releases thunderous laughter. "You are quite an interesting woman." Meanwhile, an elderly man receives a carrier pigeon, stating that Wystia has contacted the Information Guild using the highest level approach. The old man smiles with relief. After all these years, Miss Wystia has finally returned. At the same time, the Assassination Guild discusses who should be sent to kill Wystia. After all, this person is just a fool. The leader believes there's no need to dispatch senior personnel. He has an excellent candidate in mind. The next day, when the Duke returns to his manor, Wystia warmly greets him. The two embrace sweetly outside the carriage. But once Wystia enters the carriage, she immediately pushes the Duke away, coldly telling him not to touch her casually. After all, the two are only pretending to be lovers in public so the Duke's influence can legitimately help Wystia. But Wystia doesn't want to actually get herself involved. The Duke naturally states that lovers holding hands and embracing are normal behaviors. Wystia simply says, "My wrists are my sensitive spots." Upon hearing this, the Duke's face instantly turns red, and his speech becomes stammering. Wystia struggles to suppress her rising smile, finding that teasing the Duke feels rather pleasant. The next day, Wystia visits a clothing store to buy clothes, but faces endless mockery from the nobles inside. Everyone points and whispers about her. Seeing this, Wystia simply plays up her fool persona, clapping her hands gleefully and saying she's learned something new. Seeing so many ugly people at once is quite entertaining. This comment enrages everyone present. The red-dressed woman nearest her raises her hand to slap Wystia. Suddenly, the ceiling chandelier crashes down at this moment. Everyone screams in fright at this accident. Wystia freezes only momentarily. before immediately realizing that assassins have come for her. People scream and flee the clothing store, leaving only Wystia sitting quietly in place. Soon someone charges at her with a dagger. Wystia merely glances at the man, and his body instantly becomes immobilized. He finds this incredible. Wasn't the assassination target supposed to be a fool when he took this job? Distant accomplices urge the man to quickly kill Wystia, but not only can the man not move his body, his dagger is also knocked away by the arriving Duke. The scene is quickly cleaned up by the Duke's people. Back in the carriage, Wystia honestly tells the Duke that her sister Linna bribed an assassin organization to send people to kill her. The Duke remarks that Linna has truly gone bloodthirsty, otherwise she wouldn't have commissioned the Blood War Hounds, a cruel organization so twisted they treat killing as a game. Now the two must devise strategies to handle the endless stream of assassinations to come. Wystia has an excellent idea. The Blood War Hounds have a rival organization called Moon. They can seek their help. That evening, back at the Duke's manor, Sister Linna comes looking for her. She asks with apparent concern whether Wystia is all right. I heard there was an accident at the clothing store, and that some strange man attacked my sister. Wystia watches her sister's performance expressionlessly. This was clearly something she orchestrated. Such shameless audacity. Wystia pushes her sister away and begins her own performance. It's fine. My lover helped me drive away the strange man. Upon hearing this, Linna is at a loss for words. When deep night arrives, Wystia again uses magic to leave the Duke's manor and reaches Moon Organization territory. She raises her hand to use magic to open the door. At this moment, a short sword suddenly flies from the sky. Wystia reacts quickly to deflect the swords one by one. A group of people gradually gathers around her, surrounding her. Wystia remains completely calm, but is rather surprised because this group appears severely injured. Moreover, a man lies under a tree not far away. The man waves his hand, telling the others to stop and not fight against a mage. The man inquires wearily why Wystia has come here. Wystia states she wants to hire them to deal with the Blood War Hounds organization. The leader appears severely wounded, constantly coughing up blood. He shakes his head, telling Wystia to leave. As you can see, our organization was ambushed and everyone was severely injured. The organization has collapsed and cannot accept any commissions. Wystia frowns and asks who is responsible. The leader replies helplessly, the Blood War Hounds. Wystia senses something is wrong. The Blood War Hounds and Moon organization have always been enemies. Although the Blood War Hounds have long wanted to eliminate Moon, they lack the capability to do so alone. The leader tells Wystia that everyone in the organization was poisoned in a sneak attack with a poison he's never encountered before. Seeing these people growing weaker, Wystia realizes that if she does nothing, none of Moon's people will survive, which would fulfill the Blood War Hound's wishes. Wystia raises her hand and casts magic on the leader. She sees his body is completely saturated with deadly poison. Wystia freezes because this poison is all too familiar to her. It's the same poison her sister Linna coated on the crown. That day, she nearly died from Linna's hand. Wystia attempts to use magic to expel the poison from the leader's body. The leader screams in agony. The subordinates around them become immediately tense, angrily warning Wystia not to act recklessly. The leader stops his subordinates, stating that he has entrusted his life to Wystia, and even if he dies, they should not interfere. Wystia looks at the leader with unusually determined eyes, telling him, I will not let you die. Absolutely not. Everyone present is struck by this girl's overwhelming presence. Wystia closes her eyes and focuses intently on treating the leader. After a moment, she opens her eyes and breathes a sigh of relief. Your physical condition has returned to normal. The leader finds it incredible, calling it nothing short of a miracle. He bends down and respectfully bows to Wystia. You have saved my life, and I will certainly repay this debt of gratitude. The leader then turns to look at his group of injured subordinates. He wants to ask if Wystia can also save them, but the words stick in his throat and he cannot speak. Unexpectedly, Wystia proactively tells him to bring the next patient over for treatment. The leader feels even more grateful toward her, until dawn breaks. Wystia finally finishes treating everyone. The leader and his subordinates kneel respectfully before Wystia and pledge their loyalty. You are our savior. No matter what you command, we will give our all. We swear that the Moon organization will follow you forever, until our lives end. Please become our lord. Wystia stands frozen in place for a long time without responding, uncertain whether she should accept the Moon organization given that it is an assassination group. But now that she wants revenge, she needs people who belong entirely to her. Wystia announces in a strong, resolute voice. I am Wystia Sol, a magician born in the Empire after hundreds of years. From now on, I am your lord. The Duke, watching from a distance, witnesses everything. He smiles with satisfaction, pleased by Wynstia's independence and strength. Meanwhile, Linna finds the Blood War Hounds and complains about their incompetence. The Blood War Hounds members also feel wronged. The organization has a cooperative relationship with Linna. They are responsible for killing Linna's big sister, while Linna provides them with poison to help them eliminate their rival Moon organization. However, after those people were poisoned, nothing happened to them at all. The Blood War Hounds members complain that the poison Linna gave them is unreliable. Since everyone is unreliable, no one should blame anyone else. Just as Linna is about to lose her temper, the leader steps forward asking Linna to remain calm. Since we promised you, we will not give up halfway, especially considering the substantial funding you have provided us previously. Only then does Linna show a satisfied expression, instructing the leader to make sure to tear Wystia to pieces. That night, Wystia sleeps soundly in the Duke's mansion. When a group of assassins quickly surround her bed, just as several of them mock her for sleeping so defensively, Wystia suddenly opens her eyes. She sits up and smiles slightly at the group. This reaction leaves the assassins bewildered. The next second, they are suddenly counterattacked by another group of ambushers. The assassins are shocked and finally realize something is wrong, but it is already too late. When Linna hears that the assassination has failed again, she cannot help but sarcastically call them all useless. The enraged assassin suddenly steps forward, grabs Linna by the throat, and tells her through gritted teeth not to go too far. Feeling the sharp pain on her neck, Linna finally becomes frightened, losing her previous arrogance and meekly saying she understands. Only then does the assassin calm down. He states that he will explore Wystia's room once more to prevent any accidents. Linna nods, instructing him not to fail again this time. After the person leaves, Linna falls into deep thought. She feeds her big sister a cup of tea every day. This tea erodes the nerves, causing mental confusion, and the tea also contains poison. Why are her sister's body and mind so normal now? Linna clenches her fist in frustration and strikes the table. This time she must completely eliminate Wystia. The next day, at the Duke's mansion, the assassin disguises himself as a servant in the mansion. He discovers Wystia's room, but the entrance is heavily guarded. Fortunately, the maid sent by Linna manages to lure the two guards away. The assassin immediately pushes open the door, smiling as he claims to be sent by Linna. Inside the room, Wystia sits quietly by the window, admiring the scenery. Seeing someone arrive, she curiously asks who the man is. The assassin does not answer. After all, Wystia is just a fool, and the knight the Duke sent to protect her has also been called away. The room is empty except for Wystia alone. The assassin feels this is the perfect opportunity to strike. But remembering the hundreds of assassins who have previously fallen at Wystia's hands, the assassin decides to be more cautious this time. He first observes the room thoroughly from inside and out. After gaining confidence, he smilingly apologizes to Wystia. "Sorry, it seems I have the wrong room. Please rest, miss." He then respectfully bows to Wystia. Wystia smiles as she sees him off. After the person leaves, the smile instantly disappears from her face. The departing assassin does not notice that Wystia has cast magic on him. The Moon Organization leader also emerges from hiding after the person leaves, now that Wystia is their lord. All members of the Moon Organization are positioned around their lord to ensure her safety. Wystia casts magic on the mirror. The mirror immediately displays the scene where the assassin is located. In the image, the leader becomes furious when he learns the assassin has not gathered useful information, giving him a thorough scolding. The leader believes that the people helping Wystia must be from the Moon Organization. He orders his subordinates to immediately eliminate the Moon Organization members. Wystia immediately reports this information to the Duke. After discussion, several people decide to strike first. That evening, the Blood Warhounds members are searching everywhere for traces of the Moon Organization. Unexpectedly, the Moon Organization leader actively appears before them with his people. Upon seeing this, the Blood Warhounds members immediately draw their swords and charge forward. The two groups engage in fierce combat. Before long, more than half of the Blood Warhounds members have fallen. The leader notices something unusual. The Moon Organization members are twice as strong in all aspects compared to before. They naturally do not know that when Wystia used magic to remove the deadly poison from the Moon Organization members, the magic also enhanced their physical capabilities. Tonight marks the end for the Blood Warhounds. Just as the leader is about to kill the head of the Blood Warhounds, Wystia stops his action. The reason is that an hour ago she and the Duke discovered the Blood Warhounds' true headquarters. Inside, they find piles of gold. Wystia and the Duke are astounded. An assassin organization has actually accumulated such an enormous amount of wealth. Although Linna has provided funding, she could not afford such substantial amounts. At least it would require imperial resources to reach this level. In another room, the two also find a bound man. The Duke immediately recognizes this person as Count Filandino, a political enemy of the current emperor. Since Count Filandino has been captured by the Blood Warhounds, it seems that they are likely to have the support of the royal family. So the Duke and Wystia rush over, finally arriving before the leader can be killed. He asks the leader who ordered him to come. The leader immediately bites down on the poison in his mouth. However, the Duke's hand moves faster, snatching away the poison and telling the leader he had better be honest. The leader refuses to reveal the truth. Wystia simply uses illusion magic, making the leader believe she is the emperor. The leader's face immediately shows a respectful expression. Under Wystia's patient guidance, the leader reveals the truth. It turns out the Blood Warhounds has always been following the emperor's orders, severely punishing those who do not respect the emperor. After that night, Wystia takes her people back to the Soul family's villa. The Duke comes to discuss with her the matter of the emperor sending people to assassinate her. Wystia is not surprised that the emperor would do this. In fact, the person who truly hates her and wants to kill her is her younger sister Linna. The emperor wants to kill her simply because she is the legitimate head of the Soul family. According to tradition, the emperor's succession to the throne requires approval from both the Soul and Duke Regip families. However, this crown prince who inherited the throne is an incompetent tyrant in all respects. He became emperor only because his mother was greatly favored by the previous emperor. After the previous emperor deposed his original empress, he placed the prince's mother on the empress throne, so the first prince naturally inherited the throne. But he did not receive approval from the Saul and Duke Regip families. The second prince was born to the previous emperor and his original empress. He is wise and benevolent, making him excellent material for an emperor. Duke Regip wholeheartedly supports the second prince. However, to eliminate his political rival, the second prince, the first prince launched a meaningless war against the elven race. After the defeat, everything proceeded as if planned. He offered the second prince as a hostage to the elven race. Now the emperor's only remaining political enemies are Duke Regip and the Saul family. If the two families want to survive, they must quickly find the second prince and support him to the throne. But the elven race never makes contact with the outside world, making it impossible to find them through ordinary means. Wystia suggests to the Duke that they could first try to find the Saul family's hereditary scepter. Currently, the scepter is not in the Saul family's possession, but no one knows how it was lost. As the last magician in the Saul family, that person erased all information about the scepter. To find the elven race, they need to first retrieve the scepter and awaken the ancient magic within it. The Duke immediately agrees to send people to gather information about the scepter, after seeing the Duke off. When Wystia returns, she encounters an injured magical beast in the courtyard. She quickly crouches down to examine the magical beast's injuries. However, the magical beast bares its teeth at her, not allowing her to approach. The magical beast trembles as it tries to stand and escape. But Wystia gently takes it into her arms. The magical beast still wants to struggle, but its body trembles with pain. Wystia tries to heal it with magic. After a while, the magical beast's spirits improve considerably. It obediently eats the food Wystia offers. Wenstia's mood brightens considerably. She decides to adopt this little magical beast and names it Boo Boo. Boo Boo senses Wenstia's kindness and playfully acts affectionate in her hands, no longer showing its previous ferocity. At this time, a servant reports that the Duke has sent a pile of jewelry and accessories for his beloved. The beloved's sister is astounded and becomes wildly jealous of her sister. Wystia puts on an act of sweet foolishness, continuously bragging to her sister about how good the Duke is to her. Sister Linna becomes even more angry, unable to maintain even her usual fake smile. She cannot help but try to sow discord. I am clearly sister's only family member, yet these gifts do not include a share for me. Obviously, the Duke does not consider sister's family important. Wystia smiles sweetly. Men in love cannot help it. He only has eyes for me. I cannot even persuade him otherwise. Linna's expression becomes extremely dark. She forces a smile as she takes her leave from her sister. Wystia raises an eyebrow as she watches Linna's retreating figure. Still having time for sowing discord means she has not yet heard about the Blood War Hounds' destruction. Wystia returns to her smiling facade and chats with the maid nearby. The maid respectfully states that she is new here. Wystia smiles knowingly and asks her to come to her room. Once in the room, the maid immediately reveals the truth. I am Elle, and from today I am responsible for protecting my lord. Wystia is not too surprised and smilingly thanks her. Unexpectedly, when Elle bows, her chest actually falls out. She quickly adjusts herself. Wystia drops her jaw, finally discovering that Elle is actually a man. Meanwhile, Linna is contemplating how to handle her current situation. Ever since the failed assassination at the clothing store, her sister has continuously received many invitation letters from nobles. This leaves Linna completely puzzled. Her sister is known to everyone as a fool, so why would nobles send invitations to a fool? Could it be because her sister has the Duke backing her? Regardless of the reason, Linna is dissatisfied with this situation. She is at least the second in command of the Saul family, yet has never received so many noble invitation letters. Linna directly orders people to dispose of all the invitation letters. The maids also feel dissatisfied with Wystia, privately discussing how the eldest miss is truly scheming, thinking that by latching onto a good man she can rise in status. Angie does not participate in their discussion, but instead becomes puzzled by this. These are letters for Miss Wystia. Can we really just burn them at will? Although Miss Linna is the acting head of the family, to do this without the person's consent. Before Angie can finish speaking, she senses something wrong with the atmosphere. She looks up puzzled, only to see the two maids staring at her with blank expressions. One of them suddenly splashes a basin of water on Angie. The two laugh mockingly, asking her why she did not dodge. Could she be a fool like the eldest miss? Angie clenches her fists. She does not understand what she has done wrong to deserve such treatment. Just as the two are mockingly laughing at Angie, Elle, who happens to be passing by, suddenly steps forward. She extends her hand to rescue Angie, seeing Elle's outstretched hand. Angie hesitates for only half a minute before grasping it. The two maids behind desperately call for Angie to stay, but Angie walks away with Elle without looking back. After getting away from those two, Elle mentions with distress that she cannot find the eldest Miss's room. Angie laughs, realizing this person is actually directionally challenged. She smiles and tells Elle to follow her. I will take you there. A hint of embarrassment finally appears on Elle's usually expressionless face. After reaching the eldest Miss's room, Wystia asks Angie in surprise why her clothes are soaked through, and caringly tells her to change into dry clothes in her room before leaving. Anji quickly waves her hands in refusal. Wystia does not insist further and simply tells her to rest here until her clothes dry. This surprises Anji. The eldest miss seems different from what the rumors say. Anji notices a cat lying in the corner. Seeing her interest in the cat, Wystia smilingly introduces it to her. This is a cat I recently adopted, named Boo Boo. Would you like to pet it? Anji carefully extends her hand and gently pets the cat. In this moment, her heart nearly melts. Since coming here to work as a maid, this is the first time she has felt such a warm atmosphere. In the following days, Elle becomes targeted by other maids because she rescued Anji. They deliberately splash water on Elle and mockingly laugh at her, saying she is a fool just like the eldest miss. Elle casually fixes her hair, directly ignoring them and walking forward with large steps. This leaves the maids somewhat bewildered, like punching cotton without any satisfaction from bullying. Anji notices the water on Elle and approaches with concern, asking about Elle's condition and offering her a towel. However, Elle simply says I am fine and walks away without looking back. Just as Anji feels disappointed, Elle stops and asks in confusion, which direction is the miss's room again? Anji laughs again, and the disappointment in her heart instantly vanishes. The next day, while Anji is wiping tables, Linna suddenly approaches her, smilingly asking her to help deliver tea to her sister. Although Anji is puzzled, she has no right to refuse. While carrying the tea to the eldest miss's room, Anji feels increasingly that something is wrong. She can only comfort herself that it is just delivering tea, so it should be fine. Upon reaching the eldest miss's room, Wystia sees the tea in Anji's hands and smilingly asks if Linna sent her. Anji nods. After placing the tea on the table, she finally realizes what is wrong. How could there be tea of this color in the world? The eldest miss's tea has actually been poisoned by the second miss. But if she speaks up, it means she will completely offend the second miss, seeing that the eldest miss is about to drink the poisoned tea. Ultimately, her conscience prevails. Anji quickly steps forward and knocks the tea from the eldest miss's hands. Wystia asks her in confusion what is wrong. Anji hesitates, not knowing how to speak. She only saw that the tea's color was wrong and suspected it was poisoned. But speaking without evidence might make the eldest miss think she is meddling. After all, the eldest miss has always trusted the second miss greatly. After thinking it over, Anji ultimately does not tell the truth, only saying she slipped. After apologizing to Wystia, she hurriedly goes to get cleaning supplies. She does not notice that Wystia behind her is looking at her with gratification. Afterward, Linna specifically comes to ask Anji whether her sister drank the tea. Anji lowers her eyes and stammers that she did. Linna smirks, praising her for doing well, and subtly warns her not to betray her. I trust you very much. Anji breaks into a cold sweat and immediately says she understands. Only now does she realize that the second miss is not as good as she initially thought. When she first came to work in such a grand mansion, she was truly happy, but everyone in this house is strange. Even the second miss seems desperately eager to eliminate the eldest miss. Anji suddenly has a thought. It would be wonderful if she could stay by the eldest miss's side as her personal maid, because that place gives her a long-lost sense of warmth. The next day, Wystia comes to the Intelligence Guild. The guildmaster complains that she took so long to come. I'm getting bored waiting. Wystia smilingly takes out the wine she specifically brought. The guildmaster's dissatisfaction instantly vanishes. This is extremely rare magic wine. In today's world where magicians no longer exist, finding this type of wine is impossible. Wystia smirks confidently, saying that she is now the only person in the world who can brew this wine. The guildmaster eagerly drinks the magic wine in large gulps. After drinking, he is in such a good mood that he tells Wystia to say whatever she needs. However, Wystia shakes her head, saying she brought the wine today only to repay the previous favor. The guildmaster, in his good mood, insists on giving Wystia additional information. Your cousin has been selling family assets more frequently recently, failing at several business ventures. She has recently started mining for diamonds, but the mining business is not easy. Originally, just managing the Sol family's magic stone mines would have been sufficient, but she has become increasingly greedy. At this rate, the Sol family will probably be ruined soon. Upon hearing this, Wystia sighs helplessly. Her revenge progress cannot keep up with Linna's pace of ruining the family. Meanwhile, the disguised Linna arrives at the Blood Warhound's base, only to find that no one is there, making her very uneasy. She suspects that the Blood Warhound's members have been massacred by their enemies. Linna could never imagine that the person who eliminated the Blood Warhounds is actually her own sister. Linna plans to find another assassination organization. On her way back, she happens to encounter someone claiming to be from a different assassination organization. Linna excitedly states that she is willing to pay a lot of money as long as they can immediately eliminate the target. However, upon seeing Linna's appearance and hair color, the assassin immediately recoils in shock and refuses. You are Linna Sol. No one will accept your commission. You should leave quickly. The assassin then shuts the door without looking back, as if there were some terrible monster behind him. No matter how much Linna knocks, he pays no attention. Linna is bewildered by this situation. She stubbornly continues contacting many assassination guilds, but everyone refuses her. Finally, only some street thugs are willing to accept the commission. They casually ask Linna to pay a deposit first. Although Linna feels they are unreliable, she has no choice but to treat this as a desperate measure. Unexpectedly, a few days later, her subordinate informs her that the organization has disappeared without a trace. Linna is in despair. She has lost a large sum of money and still cannot eliminate her big sister. At this time, Linna's sister Wystia is leisurely attending a tea party. Originally, all her invitation letters had been burned by Linna. However, as a magician, restoring the invitation letters is just a matter of lifting a finger. Wystia has no particular interest in socializing. But the Intelligence Guild Master specifically instructed her to attend the tea party hosted by Count Genim's mansion. He also told her that the Count couple's young daughter has always been in poor health. Wystia immediately understands the Guildmaster's meaning. Upon arriving at the tea party, she immediately notices the Count couple's young daughter Saria. This is a young woman who has just come of age. Count Genim, as an administrative official, has extremely deep connections. If she can win him over to her side, he will be a very powerful ally. Wystia uses magic to see the cause of Saria's physical weakness. In this empire, everyone has mana within their body, which flows throughout like blood. Saria's mana is all abnormally twisted together, and this torment causes extreme pain. Although Saria is trembling with pain all over, she still maintains a smiling expression. She must be forcing herself to endure, not wanting to worry her parents. Wystia is confident she can cure Saria, but she must get close to her to secretly cast magic. Suddenly, Saria feels dizzy. Her expression becomes pained as she collapses to the ground. The Count frantically calls for a doctor, but the doctor cannot determine the cause. Wystia clearly understands. This condition requires straightening the twisted mana in Saria's body. But she is too far from Saria to save her. Getting too close would reveal that she can use magic, and then Linna would surely realize she has been pretending to be foolish. Looking at the dying Saria, Wystia makes a decision. She runs to Saria's side, looking confused as she asks if Saria is sleeping. Wystia grasps Saria's hand, trying to wake her up. "Do not sleep. Play with me for a while." Saria's father angrily orders people to pull Wystia away. Wystia stares blankly at Saria. In that moment of holding hands, she secretly casts magic. But why has Saria not improved? Could it be too late? Wystia prays devoutly in her heart for a miracle to occur. After a while, Saria's pale face gradually regains color. She slowly opens her eyes, looking around at the people in confusion. The Count asks his young daughter with concern how she feels. Saria only feels that her body has never been so light. She says in bewilderment that she is fine. Seeing his daughter's rosy complexion, the Count embraces her with tears of joy. Wystia also breathes a sigh of relief and leaves with peace of mind. At the same time, she secretly worries whether news will spread about Saria's miraculous recovery after meeting Wystia, which would surely increase Linna's suspicions. Wystia dismisses her complicated thoughts, comforting herself that Linna probably cannot think on that level. However, the Count notices Wenstia's figure. He actually expresses tearful gratitude to her in front of everyone. "Miss Wystia, you saved my daughter." Wystia almost cannot maintain her foolish persona. She stares wide-eyed and asks the Count, "When did I save anyone?" The Count sincerely bows an apology. "I am very sorry for misunderstanding you and rudely sending you away earlier. You saved my daughter." Upon saying this, everyone present begins discussing among themselves. Wystia is somewhat confused about the situation. The Count cannot possibly know she uses magic. Could he have noticed something? The Count's next words resolve Wenstia's confusion. Originally, even the doctor was helpless. "But you are of Sol bloodline. The hidden power within you must have saved Saria. Thank you, descendant of Sol." The Count respectfully bows to Wystia once again. He states that he wishes to repay Wystia. "My family swears to recognize only you as the true Sol heir and to regard you as our true ally." This is an unexpected gain. Wystia gladly accepts this reward, as Count Genim is such a powerful ally. However, some things have spiraled beyond her control. The rumor that Wystia cured Saria becomes unstoppable, instantly spreading throughout the entire social circle. However, the Wystia who returns to the mansion hides in a corner to eavesdrop on the maid's conversation, thus learning about Linna's entire previous plot. This further strengthens her determination to reclaim the position of family head. But to eliminate Linna's influence, she needs the support of the Sol family's retainers. However, the 5 elders have scattered to various places. Wystia feels guilty in her heart. Over these years, she believed her sister's lies, became distant from the elders, and handed power over to her sister. The elders became completely disappointed and left the family. In the afternoon, the Duke comes to find Wystia with a smile, taking her to a pastry shop frequented by nobles for a date. Wystia does not understand why they need to go to a pastry shop when there will be plenty of sweets to eat at tonight's party. The Duke explains that since they are contracted lovers, they need to show others how much they love each other. Wystia turns her head and indeed sees a group of noble ladies watching her and the Duke intently. She shrugs and calmly continues drinking her tea. The Duke quietly tells Wystia that he has heard about an elderly person recently approaching the Sol family. Wystia immediately becomes interested. This person might very well be one of the elders. She excitedly asks the Duke if he saw clearly what the old person was wearing. Suddenly, a playful boy runs over. He accidentally bumps into the table, just as he is about to be scalded by the tea. Wystia pulls the boy into her arms, avoiding the danger. The boy thanks Wystia with a smile before leaving. the Duke asks Wystia with displeasure why she did not use magic to avoid the situation. Wystia wonders why the Duke is angry about such a small matter. The Duke seriously explains, "Your body does not belong to you alone. You have tens of thousands of territorial residents behind you." Wystia states that her actions were the result of calm judgment. She certainly cannot use magic recklessly in a crowded pastry shop. The Duke's expression softens considerably. He takes Wystia's hand and gently apologizes to her. Wystia stares blankly at the Duke. They are clearly just contracted lovers. Why does the Duke put on such an expression? That evening, the Duke brings Wystia to the party. Tonight's party is very important. The host is Count Fret, an active female figure on the Empire's diplomatic stage with tremendous influence in social circles. Today is her 50th birthday banquet. Wystia plans to transform her image from a disruptive fool to that of an innocent fool. These two images are completely different. Saria also attends the party. She warmly greets Wystia and introduces her friends to her. Since the news of Wystia saving Saria spread, many people have changed their opinion of her. At this time, at the banquet, Linna does not yet know that her sister has also come to the party. When Miss Saria from the Count's family comes to greet her, Linna feels smugly pleased inside, thinking the Count's daughter has come to befriend her. Unexpectedly, Saria immediately follows with, "I have now become friends with your sister, and I am truly grateful that your sister saved my life." Linna's expression changes. She forces a smile and tells Saria not to think so highly of her sister. "You know my sister is just an ignorant fool without such great abilities." Saria can sense Linna's hostility toward Wystia and immediately loses interest in befriending her. She leaves only with the words, "You seem to not understand Miss Wenstia's abilities very well." Linna can barely maintain her fake smile. After Saria leaves, she immediately calls her sister Wystia over. Wystia asks innocently what her sister wants. Linna looks at her sister thoughtfully. She quickly grabs a wine glass from the table, pours it over her own head, then lets out a piercing scream. "Big sister, why are you treating me this way? Do you hate me so much?" Linna covers her face and breaks down crying. "Everything I do is for sister's sake." Wystia watches Linna's performance with an expressionless face. All along, Linna has used this method to frame her and then take away what rightfully belongs to her. But the current Wystia has long seen through everything and will not let Linna succeed again. Wystia first asks Linna innocently what she means. Then she raises a brilliant smile and continues, "But I do not care about you anymore." Linna freezes for a moment, then continues shouting, "Of course sister would not care about me because you hate me!" The conversation between the two sisters causes quite a stir among the surrounding crowd. Many noble ladies believe that Linna should not be making such a scene, as if Wystia has committed some grave offense. Linna freezes upon hearing these murmurs. Her performance had been flawless, yet her sister's foolish words with just two casual remarks make her appear hysterical and unreasonable. Wystia shyly expresses that her heart now belongs only to Duke Regip, and she cares about nothing else. No matter how jealous Linna becomes, she will never let go of the Duke's hand. Wystia sincerely wishes Linna will meet someone better in the future. So this is about the younger sister fighting over the older sister's man out of jealousy. This becomes a family matter. The nobles all advise Linna to resolve this privately at home. Sisters should not create such an embarrassing scene in public. Linna stands completely stunned. She realizes she has lost this battle. The Duke and her sister always display their affection publicly. When her sister brings up the Duke, these people, unwilling to offend the Duke, will only blame her, the sister without connections. Linna resignedly stands up and explains that she has been exhausted from managing the family business lately, which caused her outburst. At this moment, the Duke arrives. He coldly questions Linna, "Is this how you bully my fiancé when I am not around?" Linna's heart skips a beat upon hearing this. She explains that the family business has been struggling recently, and she has been so tired from managing the household that she spoke nonsense. In front of everyone, the Duke pulls out a stack of checks from his pocket and throws them on the ground, coldly asking Linna if this amount is sufficient. Even a fool can see the Duke's intention is for Linna to take the money and leave immediately. This humiliating act makes Linna tremble with rage. Nobles have always valued their reputation above all else, yet the Duke publicly humiliates her, a lady of noble birth. Even Wystia looks shocked. She never expected the situation to develop this way. After this banquet, Wystia's original plan was to transform her image in high society from an annoying fool to an innocent fool. However, because of this man, her plan requires modification. Wystia becomes a fool deeply beloved by the Duke. That evening, when Linna returns home, she confronts her father who has just returned from the gambling house. She warns her father with a threatening smile that there are rumors the gambling house will soon face investigation from the palace. If the palace guards arrest him, her plan to become head of House Sol will be ruined, and father and daughter will end up sleeping on the streets. Her father remains speechless under her scolding. It's not like he can just quit this if he wants to. At this moment, a maid announces that Lord Stephen has arrived. Only then does Linna release her father. Stephen brings several documents with him. These are mining contracts for House Sol's magic crystal mines. 3 contracts in total. The contract terms satisfy Linna greatly. Once she secures the funding for mining development, she can begin pursuing her dream dress business. Linna plans to sell some of House Sol's family heirlooms. She can claim they belong to the magical house Saul, and people will compete to buy them. Thinking of this, Linna becomes suspicious of Wystia again. That fool actually cured Miss Saria. Has she regained her magical powers? Impossible. There are no signs of it. Or is the fool's appearance actually an act? Linna feels the situation becomes increasingly complicated. She suspects the Duke's display of deep love for the fool might be because he discovered the fool's identity as a mage. With this thought, Linna makes a firm decision. She must eliminate her sister as soon as possible. A maid suddenly reports that a servant named Anji frequently enters and exits the eldest Miss's room. The information Anji overhears here seems to reach the eldest Miss. Linna's expression immediately darkens. She instructs the maid to summon Anji. Anji nervously arrives at the second Miss's room. As soon as she enters, Linna speaks with hidden meaning. I have disliked someone for a long time. To make her die as miserably as possible, I poisoned her. But instead of dying, she lives better and better. What do you think I should do? Although frightened, Anji follows her conscience. I think this approach is wrong. Even if that person did something wrong, such cruel methods should not be used. Linna's gaze toward Anji becomes ice cold. Anji trembles with fear, but Linna does not make things difficult for her. She simply responds, I understand, and dismisses her. After leaving the room, Anji finally breathes a sigh of relief. Suddenly, a man quickly emerges from the shadows and covers Anji's mouth and nose. Two men then stuff Anji into a sack and throw her into the river. The sack containing the servant quickly sinks to the river bottom. Just as Anji is about to suffocate, someone pulls her up. After the sack is opened, Anji gasps heavily for air. Seeing the person who saved her, she widens her eyes in complete disbelief. The next day, Wystia notices Anji's disappearance. She suspects Linna is responsible. The captain reports they have traced Anji's whereabouts. Someone witnessed two men throwing a sack containing a person into the river. He immediately searched the surrounding area upon receiving this information, but found neither the sack nor Anji. Wystia can only ask the captain to continue the search. At this moment, Elle approaches with a suspicious letter. Wystia immediately opens it to examine the contents. The letter is actually written by Anji. She indicates that she is currently safe under an elderly man's protection and asks Wystia not to worry. Finally, she conveys the old man's message. This elderly man believes Miss Wystia and the Moonlight organization can find them. Wystia asks the captain if he can guess who this old man might be. The envelope bears no sender information or address, making finding this person like searching for a needle in a haystack. The captain suddenly remembers someone. Before the Moon organization was rescued by Wystia, an incident occurred. At that time, they were poisoned by the Blood War hounds. An old man suddenly appeared and gave the Moon organization members an injection. He mysteriously said, "You cannot die yet." The old man explained that this injection would help them hold on for several more hours and someone would come to rescue them. Then the old man disappeared like mist. Upon hearing this, Wystia becomes puzzled. How did this old man know she would go there? Suddenly, she has an inspiration. She uses magic to illuminate the letter. Hidden text indeed appears on the letter. The old man affectionately addresses her as Miss Wystia. Wystia immediately recognizes who the old man is. The elders of House Saul always affectionately call her Miss Wyn. Only one elder speaks softly and slowly, calling her Miss Wystia. After reading the complete letter, Wynstia's eyes gradually redden. Elder Amy has been secretly protecting her all along. He provides Wystia with his address. Wystia immediately seeks him out. After exchanging pleasantries, she requests Amy's help in claiming the position of head of house. Amy shares this intention. He has long been waiting for Wystia to awaken from her confused state. However, House Saul's power is now completely controlled by Miss Linna, and many people still consider Miss Wystia a fool. Reclaiming and rebuilding the family will face numerous difficulties. Wystia nods. She deeply regrets trusting Linna and handing over the family to her, but she refuses to continue dwelling in regret. Wystia tells Amy with firm determination, "From now on, I will do everything within my power to accomplish all necessary tasks. Amy, join me. Let us reclaim and rebuild House Saul together." Tears glisten in Amy's eyes. He kneels before Wystia and solemnly declares, "I swear I will follow the head of house forever, until the end of my life." Meanwhile, at the Soul estate, Linna gathers all family members together. She excitedly announces that the Soul merchant fleet has become the magic crystal supplier for 3 Earl families. She confidently states that she will lead House Soul to rise again. Wystia, who has just returned home with the elder, feels alarmed upon hearing this announcement. The magic crystals produced by the family territory are insufficient even for internal use. How could there be enough for trade with others? Linna continues brainwashing the servants, claiming those magic crystals are merely useless family relics. Selling them will establish the foundation for the family's leap forward. The elder listened in astonishment, for the worthless family heirlooms she spoke of were priceless. Wystia explains that the current household staff are primarily people Linna brought with her. These people do not understand the value of the relics, nor do they know that the money used for her assassination attempts comes from the same source. Amid everyone's applause, Linna smiles as she concludes her speech. "Thank you all. As the next head of House Saul, I hope to celebrate these good times together with everyone." This statement triggers another round of thunderous applause. Wednesday takes the elder back to her room. She introduces the elder to the captain of the Moon organization, explaining that he will handle intelligence management for the team in the future. The elder nods, indicating he will quickly devise a plan to make Linna lose control of the family. However, Wednesday tells him not to pursue this approach. Harming Linna or forcibly destroying her position would not be ideal methods. The best approach is to seize what she controls without expending too much effort. Wednesday thinks of the magic crystals. Since Linna has signed magic crystal contracts with 3 Earl families, she will make good use of this opportunity. Magic crystals are stones containing mana, and no one understands magic crystals better than Wednesday, who is a mage. With this thought, Wednesday smiles slightly and glances at Linna celebrating at the party downstairs. Enjoy your laughter while you can, because your happy days are numbered. In the following days, the most discussed topic in the capital was the newly appeared caravan. They had everything. As long as you have money, you can buy anything. The strange thing is that the owner of the caravan always wears a white fox mask. At this moment, the masked guild leader leisurely examines intelligence reports in hand. She then tears off the mask from her face. No one would imagine that the person behind the merchant guild is actually Wednesday. She undertakes all this to restrain Linna. Establishing the merchant guild through competition can squeeze Linna's position while solidifying her own foundation. Linna certainly knows about this merchant guild's existence now. Wednesday plans for the merchant guild to contact Linna next, investigating the magic crystals behind her operations. The magic crystals within the family are insufficient for her sales volume. Wednesday wants to understand how Linna produces large quantities of magic crystals. The elder brings the latest intelligence, suggesting Wednesday should ask the Duke for clarification. The Duke possesses the information you seek. Wednesday freezes. Does this matter somehow involve the Duke as well? Wednesday has never told the Duke about her private business ventures, but this time she must reveal everything. The Duke feels delighted when Wednesday initiates their meeting. Do you have something to tell me? Wednesday remains silent for a long while before speaking. Have you heard about the mysterious merchant guild that appeared recently? The guild leader always wears a fox mask. The Duke nods. No one knows his true identity. I only know that person has purple eyes. Wednesday curls the corners of her mouth and gives the Duke a mysterious smile. The Duke immediately understands her hint and stands frozen in shock. He then bursts into thunderous laughter, marveling that Wednesday always brings him surprises. Actually, Wednesday prefers not to reveal this information. These are her future trump cards. However, to secure the Duke's assistance, she must be completely honest. She requests the Duke's help in obtaining a magic crystal. The Duke indicates this is unnecessary. I have one right here. Linna previously sent a magic crystal to every noble household. That evening, Wednesday receives the Duke's secretly delivered gift. The box contains exactly the magic crystal Linna sent. With just one glance, Wednesday detects something wrong. The magic power within the magic crystal is not properly sealed and will last at most 2 days. Linna actually has the audacity to sell such inferior products under the name of House Soul. Wednesday angrily crushes the magic crystal. She cannot continue allowing Linna to damage House Soul's reputation. She must quickly stop the circulation of these magic crystals. However, before officially becoming head of house, Wednesday cannot appear publicly. To rapidly eliminate a product from the market, one must introduce a product of superior quality at a lower price. Wednesday raises her hand and creates a magic circle. Soon the magic circle transforms into a brilliant magic crystal that falls into Wednesday's palm. Her subordinates stare in amazement. This is clearly a very high-quality magic crystal that the inferior product cannot compare to. Wednesday explains this is still an experimental product. As a mage, creating magic crystals is not difficult for her. She simply needs to inject appropriate magic power into magic crystals with compatible magnetic fields. However, market distribution requires mass production. The elder suggests purchasing House Soul's abandoned diamond mine, though that mine has strange rumors surrounding it. Legend claims that the ghosts of miners who died in mining accidents are destroying the diamonds. People report seeing ghosts at night or hearing screams. Wednesday feels no fear of these rumors. Scientifically speaking, these phenomena likely occur when mana becomes chaotic. Moreover, her mage's intuition tells her that mine likely contains tremendous value. The next day, she brings people to the mine. She instructs the guards to inform the mine's owner. I am purchasing this mine. Before entering the mine, the guards cannot help but advise against impulsive action. The rumors claim that anyone entering this mine loses consciousness. No one has dared approach in recent years. Wednesday shows no fear. As a mage, she can sense some force within the mine drawing away her magic power. This indicates something extraordinary exists inside. She resolutely walks toward the mine's depths. The closer she approaches that force, the more Wednesday's magic power diminishes. Finally, she reaches the center of that force's source. Crystals and chaotic mana surround her everywhere. Wednesday senses these crystals seem conscious and are calling to her. She extends her hand to attempt repairing the surrounding mana. A powerful magic circle unfolds in her hands. Soon the chaotic magic power flows into the crystals, transforming ordinary crystals into magic crystals. Success! Wednesday feels excited. With these crystals, certainly no one will value Linna's magic crystals. Upon returning, Wednesday begins contemplating how to increase the magic crystal's commercial value. The appearance must be beautiful to attract more people. She attempts injecting magic power into the pink crystal on her earring. The effect proves satisfactory. But Wystia cannot inject magic power into every crystal. When the Duke visits her afternoon, he immediately notices Wystia's troubles and curiously asks what has happened. Only then does Wystia remember that whenever she faces difficulties, the Duke always provides solutions. Perhaps this time as well. She points to a cup and asks the Duke, filling one cup with water is easy. But how would you fill many cups at once? The Duke smiles and asks Wystia, why not spread the cups on the floor and pour water over them? You are a mage. This should be simple for you. Wystia has a flash of inspiration. Of course, crystals can resonate with each other, and magic crystals are also crystals. By placing magic crystals and ordinary crystals together and applying a little magic, she can allow the magic power within magic crystals to penetrate into other crystal stones. Wystia hurriedly rises to bid farewell to the Duke, but the Duke is reluctant to part so quickly. In his urgency, he grasps Wystia's hand. After regaining his composure, he gentlemanly kisses her hand and offers his blessing. May everything proceed as you wish. Wystia thanks the Duke for his blessing. After she leaves, the Duke stands in place, both embarrassed and shy. Over the following days, the public discusses the newly released magic crystals most frequently. Because they emit pink light, everyone calls them rose crystals. Rose crystals contain miraculous amounts of magic power. They can reportedly revive extinguished fires and make dry wells flow with water. Everyone seeks ways to obtain them. As successful as Wystia's magic crystals become, Linna grows equally angry. Her magic crystals face returns and contract cancellations. The newly appeared merchant guild is behind all this trouble. Linna wishes she could immediately destroy the woman behind the fox mask. After consideration, she instructs a maid to arrange meetings with a certain baron and viscount. She plans to utilize their newspaper companies to spread rumors in newspapers about the rose crystals sold by Wystia, claiming they have severe side effects on human health and constitute dangerous products. After reading the newspaper, the Duke falls into deep thought. This report is rapidly spreading throughout the empire. Linna must be behind this. She has rallied nobles who control public opinion. With this realization, the Duke hurriedly departs for the palace. The palace holds hearings on the last day of each month. After the previous emperor's ascension, hearings transformed into activities praising the emperor. Therefore, the Duke has always refused to attend. This time, he rarely appears at the venue. Everyone present discusses his arrival extensively. Even the emperor feels surprised, though clearly the Duke has not come to praise him. The emperor asks irritably what he is doing here. The Duke smiles and leisurely responds, I simply came to visit your majesty and greet you. He then deliberately touches the sword at his waist. The emperor immediately notices this gesture. Seeing the crystal embedded in the sword, he casually asks, is that not a rose crystal? This statement causes all nobles to discuss among themselves. Even the emperor has heard of this crystal, proving it is genuinely useful. Although reports claim rose crystals have side effects, since the Duke carries one personally, the newspaper content appears unreliable. Moreover, decorating swords with crystals reportedly greatly increases their power. Everyone begins questioning that report's credibility. Having achieved his purpose, the Duke bids farewell to the emperor and departs. The next day, Linna trembles with rage upon reading the newspaper. The Duke's public display of rose crystals receives praise from His Majesty and the nobles. No controversy can now overshadow the rose crystal's popularity. Linna cannot understand why the Duke would help the White Fox Merchant Guild. She suspects everything connects to Wystia. That fool likely regained her magic power and created the magic crystals. However, that fool has remained at home without venturing out. How could the frequently appearing merchant guild leader be that fool? How can she now destroy this merchant guild? Linna suddenly devises a plan. She has people spread rumors throughout the capital, claiming the merchant guild leader is a fox or witch wearing a mask and disguising herself as human. The rumors quickly reach Wystia's ears. She suspects Linna is behind this, as she enjoys framing others and playing the innocent victim. However, rumors matter little now. The White Fox Merchant Guild has established a firm foothold. No products in the market can replace rose crystals. Despite significant controversy, the crystals suffer no major damage. Linna becomes furious when rumors prove useless. Her business has been completely ruined by the White Fox Merchant Guild. No one will purchase her inferior magic crystals now. Linna can only have her subordinates find an obedient elderly man guild. She wants to continue spreading rumors about the White Fox caravan. Meanwhile, after the Duke helps Wystia resolve a troublesome matter, he excitedly seeks her out for praise. After consideration, Wystia suddenly stands and approaches the Duke. She reaches toward his ear, indicating she will give him a reward. The Duke's heartbeat suddenly became disordered. However, after Wystia places an earring on him, she sits back down. The entire process takes less than 10 seconds. The Duke suppresses his disappointment and curiously asks what this is. Wystia explains with a smile, this is the Merchant Guild's new limited edition product. Craftsmen created this earring using the highest purity magic crystals. She teasingly remarks that earrings suit the Duke well. The Duke suddenly stands, asking with a smile, what if I say these rewards are insufficient? Do you have anything else you can give me? As the Duke speaks, he approaches Wystia. The atmosphere between them becomes increasingly intimate. Even slow-witted Wystia senses something amiss. She abruptly pushes the Duke away. Realizing her action is inappropriate, she stammers an apology. Sorry, because you suddenly approached. If it is not enough, then let me take you to watch a good show. The Duke raises an eyebrow. He then follows Wystia to an auction venue hosted by the White Fox Merchant Guild. The venue overflows with people. Everyone has heard that this auction will reveal special merchandise. Everyone speculates whether the merchandise relates to rose crystals. Linna also arrives at the auction venue. Someone maliciously teases whether she has come to spy on the enemy. Linna feels ready to explode with anger internally but maintains a smiling facade. How could that be? I harbor no animosity toward the White Fox Merchant Guild. I admire their initiative. Every step exceeds my expectations. The man shows respectful admiration, praising Linna's angelic kindness. Linna sneers in her heart. Actually, she feels nearly insane with jealousy. While other auctions typically allow general noble participation, this Fox Merchant Guild limits ticket sales, which instead stimulates noble curiosity and attracts crowds. However, this White Fox Merchant Guild will definitely be ruined this time. Linna has already coordinated with some people to secretly cause trouble. Regardless of what merchandise the guild introduces, it will not matter. An incident will occur here that even the Duke cannot resolve. The host on stage displays a wooden box. Announcing this is the Merchant Guild's special merchandise. The Duke tilts his head and asks Wystia if this is the good show she mentioned. Wystia smiles mysteriously, telling him not to rush. The host opens the box, revealing a pair of earrings inside. Their gorgeous appearance draws praise from the audience below. The host introduces these earrings as crafted from the most precious and rare rose crystals, produced in limited quantities with only 10 sets available throughout the empire. Purchasers of these earrings will become White Fox Merchant Guild VIPs. Upon this announcement, everyone present becomes eager. Only Linna's expression grows increasingly dark. The host reveals that the Duke has already purchased the first pair of earrings, which now belongs to the Duke's lover, Miss Wystia. Wystia appears before everyone at the appropriate moment. She sweetly leans against the Duke's shoulder. Only now does the Duke understand what good show Wystia mentioned. He chuckles softly and whispers teasingly in Wenstia's ear, "You certainly know how to use me." This time, verbal praise alone cannot compensate for being used. Wystia curiously asks what other compensation he desires. The Duke raises the corner of his mouth and whispers, "May I have your heart?" Wystia freezes. Even someone as slow as she now understands something. Suddenly, someone forces entry into the auction venue. Guards struggle to restrain him. The man simply shouts, "That gemstone killed my daughter!" White Fox Merchant Guild, you must explain the true nature of that man-eating gemstone. This statement causes everyone to discuss among themselves. How could such beautiful gemstones harm people? Most people remain skeptical. A bystander timely emerges to influence opinion. Speaking of which, I think I heard somewhere that it exploded without warning. This makes most attendees half convinced. The man holds up a rose crystal and shouts, "No matter how you conceal it, the truth will eventually come to light." This unclean magic crystal indeed kills people. Linna displays a triumphant expression. The Fox Merchant Guild cannot clear its name now. She deliberately had the man bring a counterfeit rose crystal that looks identical to the real ones, and it was originally defective. The Fox Merchant Guild cannot prove this is not their product. Wystia smiles slightly. She has long anticipated Linna would cause trouble. At this moment, the White Fox Merchant Guild leader suddenly emerges. The Duke feels shocked. Did they not say the guild leader was Wystia in disguise? The guild leader states that the Merchant Guild's rose crystals cannot possibly have problems. The man angrily questions the guild leader, "Then how did my daughter die because of the magic crystal?" The guild leader indicates she can investigate the truth on the spot. She extends her hand and uses magic to remotely retrieve the magic crystal from the man's hand. After examination, she states this magic crystal was not produced by the Merchant Guild. The man produces a purchase guarantee from the Merchant Guild, proving he bought it here. The guild leader asks the nobles in attendance whether anyone carries rose crystals from the Merchant Guild. Many people raise their hands in response. She asks the nobles to examine their crystals carefully. All rose crystals purchased from the Merchant Guild contain a hidden moon shape inside. This shape appears when using magic power and serves as the Merchant Guild's authentication mark. However, the crystal the man brought contains no moon mark, clearly making it counterfeit. The man panics and stubbornly insists he did purchase it, claiming the guarantee proves this. The guild leader acknowledges the guarantee is indeed provided by the Merchant Guild, but explains that guarantees also contain magic. The guild leader tears open the guarantee, revealing a magic circle inside. The magic circle floats into the treasure box. The guild leader bends down and retrieves a magic crystal from the box. The crystal connected to this guarantee is here with me. At this moment, Linna in the audience feels confused. She originally suspected the guild leader might be her sister Wystia in disguise. However, the guild leader now stands on stage, while Wystia has remained beside the Duke without moving. Has she been wrong about everything? Wystia maintains a sweet, innocent appearance while internally celebrating her good fortune in receiving advanced intelligence and arranging for someone to impersonate the guild leader. Now Linna should no longer suspect her identity. The person portraying the guild leader on stage is actually the maid Anji, whose heart races with nervousness despite her composed exterior. Jane is extremely nervous and desperately prays for this situation to end quickly. Although the man who came to mess up the place had his purpose exposed, he is still stubbornly arguing that there is something wrong with the caravan's goods. Anji coldly instructs security to remove him. She then apologizes to the attendees for disturbing their auction experience. She announces that every guest attending will receive a complimentary rose crystal. This announcement delights everyone and completely eliminates the earlier unpleasantness. The auction continues enthusiastically. Linna quietly leaves the merchant guild. She feels very unwilling to accept this failure but cannot think of other methods to destroy the White Fox Merchant Guild. She can only sit in her carriage and sulk alone. Upon returning home, Stephen excitedly asks Linna whether the plan succeeded. Linna angrily grabs his collar. "It is all because of your stupid idea that the plan failed. There will be no next time, Stephen. You and your family are overed." Stephen stands stunned. His family consists of nouveau riche, and he is the most overlooked youngest son. At home, his family ignores him. Outside, nobles mock him for his nouveau riche background. Now even the opportunity for mockery has disappeared. The day after Linna abandons him, the emperor finds a tax evasion excuse to eliminate Stephen's family. The royal family currently faces financial shortages. The emperor naturally confiscates all of Stephen's family's assets. This news quickly reaches Wensti's ears. She observes that the emperor acted decisively this time, essentially making an example to deter other nobles from tax evasion in the future. Confiscating assets while intimidating nobles truly kills two birds with one stone. However, the emperor and Stephen's family were previously allies. What happened in the meantime? Wystia suspects this matter likely involves Linna.